This is Shelf Space. Welcome to Shelf Space. I'm glad we're on this rocket ship together. Today I'm chatting with Rachel Mansfield. She's a content creator with 1.5 million followers. She's a CPG investor and now a founder of cadootz, the clean label protein pack snack brand redefining what kids actually crave. We dig into her D2C launch, her exclusive nationwide deal with Target, and her new quick meal cookbook, More Please, which has just landed in bookstores, well, everywhere. But before we jump in, a galactic shout out to the partners who make it possible to bring Shelf Space to your podbox for free. TD Business Banking, Fasken Law, Pacific Coast Distribution, REMA, Benchmark 60, and Picnic Creative. Okay, here's my conversation with Rachel. Rachel, this is a fantastic conversation. I'm super excited about it. We're on opposite sides of North America. You're in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I'm in Short Hills, New Jersey.
Excellent. I'm on the far side over in Vancouver in Canada. So two countries, opposite sides of the continent. So we've got everyone surrounded. And I want to kick things off with my first question. And that is, if there was one innovation that you could see in the grocery store, what would it be?
I mean, kid snacks, organic kid snacks.
That's on brand for you. Very well done. Great job.
I know, but I genuinely mean it because 3 years ago, we didn't want to start this. And I really was looking in the grocery store and the aisles all the time, going to trade shows. I'm like, why is no one making kid snacks that kids crave and parents feel good about giving their children?
Yeah, that snacking aisle is, it's not very kid friendly. I mean, there might be some kid graphics and there might be some Marvel characters or minions on things. But the reality is that there's a lot of food in the grocery store that doesn't help children.
No, I mean, we're baby and toddlers, definitely very well taken care of now. There's some awesome brands that we're investors in too that are in the space. But I think when you graduate from the puffs and the smoothie melts of the world, where are you going after that? And there really just isn't, until now, there wasn't a snack that kids would get excited about that actually checked all the boxes for what a health conscious parent wants to feed their kid. And
sometimes on Shelf Space, I get to talk with people that are behind brands that are fairly well known. And so we don't need a lot of background. Sometimes they're, a little less known. So we have to kind of unpack it. But in CPG, you're actually quite new, about as new as it can get in the grand scheme of things. So why don't you give listeners a short version of what are you making and where are people buying it?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Rachel Mansfield. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of cadootz Snacks. We launched in January on our website and then on Amazon. And then in June of this year, we launched nationwide in Target. So I'm a mom of 3, super frustrated with the lack of nutritious snacks for kids. I was buying other cheddar crackers and that my kids would love and they would want to eat all the time. And I was cringing at the ingredients, so some didn't check the box of what I was looking for. Some weren't school safe. Some had seed oil. Some were just glorified, mass produced fish-shaped cheddar crackers. And I was getting so annoyed. So I looked at my husband after we've been investing in the space for 8 years and said, I think we need to start a kids snack brand. No one's making what we want. So yeah, we're only 7 or 8 months old, which is so crazy. But we've been at this for over 3 years trying to get the brand off the ground.
I love it. And I love how, by the way, you started that answer with, your pitch voice. You're like, hi.
I know. Can you tell I have to do that pretty often? I know. You're right, though. Some people might be like, who is this? I have no idea who she is, which is great. It's refreshing at times when I get that. But I wanted something with protein. I wanted something gluten-free. My son's gluten-free. My husband's gluten-free. I wanted nut-free, no natural flavors. I wanted organic. I wanted 100% extra virgin olive oil. I had a lot of requirements for a product. So no one else is making it but cadootz.
I like the way you kind of frame that because there is a pressure out there, I think, given all the needs and wants and desires and requirements in the snacking space of we're free from this. Well, one of the challenges of the free from category is that now consumers are like, well, what is it? What is in it? Not, I know what isn't in it, but what is in it? And so I think you guys are playing that well. And from what I've seen so far, the packaging that you've got is actually, it's quite refreshing. It's not full of a lot of of those negative call outs or big red strike throughs or whatever. It's very much this is what we're making and it's beautiful. And if you have questions, turn it over.
No, I appreciate that. And it's something that we're very cognizant of in the marketing of cadootz. Sometimes we'll say seed oil free, but now I've been finding myself saying made with 100% organic extra virgin olive oil because it's not as know this. Cause we don't want to fear monger. Like everyone's human. Like I'm not perfect with the ingredients I eat. Like nobody is. And I just like want people to just have trust and faith in the ingredients that we use to make our product without making them feel shamed about buying something else or eating something else.
And you commented off the slide there. You said something about fish crackers.
Yeah.
We all know what you're talking about. And in that space, in that section of the snacking aisle, you know, those fish crackers that are there, they've been different flavors, different formats. It's become almost sort of a real baseline in the category. And when our daughter was younger, yes, she ate some of those, but she didn't love them. They're very salty and they kind of get gluey when you eat a few of them at a time. Yeah, there was nothing like what you're making at the time that when we were feeding her. She's older now. She's 12 and a half. So it feels like a teenager now. It's what it feels like. But when you looked at that category, you saw white space where a lot of CPG founders will look at that and go, no, it's crowded. It's loud. There's a behemoth in the category. We're not going to be able to make our dent.
Yeah, it didn't scare me. I didn't want to start a food company ever. I felt really called to be doing this. It was purely out of frustration. We looked so hard to invest in a brand that was doing this because some people might think that it's very crowded, but when you go down the cracker aisle specifically and you look at the options, there is like nothing. We're the only cracker in the country that's clean label purity award certified. So there is just not a clean label cracker out there that's making something like we're making. So there's a lot of the same and there's a lot of redundancy within like having crackers, but there wasn't that cracker that checked all the box. And it's not even just crackers, it's other snacks in general, like especially pretzels and chips and so on. So there's a lot of options, but there's not a lot of quality options. And there's nothing with proteins. A huge part of like cadootz is having the 5 grams of protein per serving. And they're like a small size cracker, like similar to other competitor cheese crackers. And when you're eating them, you're actually getting protein in, which as a mom of 3, I'm constantly trying to get protein into my kids. They're 7, 5, and 3. They don't want to just like eat meat sticks all day. They want to have those like salty, crunchy, delicious snacks. So that's why we were like, you know what? No one is doing this.
Yeah. And yet again, protein is having its moment. I think protein water might be the extent, or sort of protein tobacco. I don't know. I'm exaggerating, but protein's finding its way into a lot of places and spaces. But the reality is that it does belong in a bunch of new categories. And I think there are opportunities to really improve our health and well-being and that of our children by making sure that they have more balanced meals or balanced snacks. So I love that you're leaning into that. Now, there's 2 things I want to check in with you. D2C. So the first few months you launched D2C. Now, as an investor, I would imagine that as an investor, you would have seen the dark side of D2C and sort of like good, bad, and the very ugly of D2C. What was it like for you to flip the switch and say, all right, we're making this and we're going D2C first? What were some of those first few months like?
So we didn't want, like no one's buying their snacks online all the time. You're buying them in the grocery store. But when we were launching cadootz, I had to fight and advocate for doing this with my 2 co-founders. One is my husband, Jordan, and the other co-founder is Kiva Dickinson, who's the managing partner of Selva Ventures. And I called Kiva and I'm like, hey, I think we should launch online first as we're waiting for our target launch. And Kiva said to me, like, respectfully, no, that is a beast. Like, you know better than this. Like, I'm an investor in Grunes. Like, I see the D2C business. It takes a lot of money to successfully have that. Hear me out. We'll launch online in January. Then we have 6 months to iron out any kinks. That way, the first time that we are selling a product, it's not in over 2,000 doors. It's on our website under our own discretion. We don't have to put a lot of money behind making it successful. But if we launch the product and let it ride for the next few months while we figure out like operational kinks, because hiccups are going to come up. And I wanted to get ahead of those before we were nationwide and like one of the largest retailers. So for us, it's more of like it sits there. It's not a priority. It's not something that we're heavily investing in. I think it'll be a great place to like test innovation and do custom bundles and things like that. But our D2C business was honestly just like our segue into getting into Target. So we weren't going from like 0 to 100.
Sort of like your fancy beta group.
Yeah, exactly. And like we sold out the first morning that we launched on January 7th. It was crazy. And we learned a lot operationally at our factory, like how to better produce all of the fulfillment. And most importantly, we also then like didn't go into Target where no one knew who we were. So when you go into shelves and like you're a brand new brand, you really have to get in front of the customer. And like now people were like, oh, I've seen that online for the last 6 months. I've seen it on Amazon. I've seen it on social media. And then they see it on shelves. I'm like, oh my God, it's here. So it has a little bit more just retention for the brand.
Well, you obviously were able to leverage your own personal network, which is pretty notable. I think over 1 million followers across a few platforms. So that's always nice to have. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, that definitely played a big factor because we have a built-in consumer base already. At this point, I've been doing this for almost 12 years, like my platforms. Influencers weren't a thing when I was sharing recipes on the internet. That was on food bloggers were like, that was what I was called. And people kept asking me like, what snacks do you feed your kids? Like, what are you buying? What should I buy? So when it came time to launch, we're like, oh, wow, we already have a built-in community, which is a competitive advantage. Like when you're launching a company, like there's already eyeballs out there. And I brought my community along for the ride for those 3 years as we were creating this. It wasn't like all of a sudden on January 7th, oh, Rachel Mansfield started Snack Brand. They helped us pick out the logo. They helped us with the flavors. They helped us along the ride.
That's so cool. What do you think the future is of food and CPG influencers?
I think that there's going to be more and more creator founded companies where we're unique is like, I'm actually like running the company day to day, where like, this isn't just like my name on it and then someone else is doing it. I think that creators are getting smarter. We're like, you have to differentiate. You cannot just focus on content creation. I don't want to be doing content creation in 10 years. I want to diversify our portfolio and like my income. And also my passion right now is so heavily in cadootz. And that is what I'm really focusing on. So I think that like more and more creators are feeling that way too, because to do it's a lot to like do the content creation part of the business.
The extension of your D2C play, you already alluded to it, is that you went into Target. Now, and in some of the other work that I'm doing, very much exploring the bottoms up versus top down go-to-market strategies and really unpacking that. And you're living it right now where you've just gone national with Target as your first retailer, your only retailer.
Yeah, we're exclusive with them. Yeah.
So there will be a lot of CPG founders and food leaders listening to this kind of going like, wait, what? So walk us through that a little bit. It sounds like it was part of the conversation really early on, maybe even before you made your D2C decision. So was this 2-3 years in the making and Target was like on board the whole way? Or what was this journey like with Target?
Yeah, great question. So when we originally wanted to launch cadootz, we weren't really focused on where we were launching it. It's more like, who is the buyer that's going to get what we're doing? And they want to take a risk on a brand new company that has never sold a box. And we met with a handful of retailers, not only Target. But when we met with Target, we did like an innovation summit for them over a year ago now. And I stalked down that buyer for Cookie and Cracker. And she's no longer with Target now, but I introduced myself. I gave her like the benchtop samples that we had that like honestly weren't even that good. And she just like believed in the product and the brand and like what we were creating. And we brought them along for the journey for those few months leading up to our launch, like sending them new prototypes, like asking for their feedback, designing boxes, like everything. And I think that Target, they saw that their shelves were stale. While they're full and they have like a handful of products, they didn't have anything like this. And they're like, our customers need this. And also you're seeing like Target right now really is the new spot for innovation. Like they're the retailer that's seeing brands and taking a risk. And actually they value innovation more than any other retailer is right now. So when they were really excited and eager to bring us on, that was like really what we focused on. It's a buyer that understands what we're doing and believes in us. And it's also an amazing way to like reach the masses because there's all types of customers that go to Target.
And fundamentally, you're solving a retailer's problem kind of before the consumer's problem that you're addressing. And I think a lot of food leaders, they hyper focus on their consumer, which is great. What a great problem to have. I think consumers, they feel heard and things that are made for them. But going into retail, you need to be able to address the needs of the retailer, make them feel like they are truly a partner. And the fact that you've gone exclusive, so unpack the whole exclusive thing. That sounds terrifying, I think, to a lot of brand owners.
It does, but at the same time, we're a new brand. Like, were we going to launch in more than one retailer at the same? It's my husband and I. We're the only 2 full-time employees that are running this business. Obviously, we have like third-party contractors and agencies and whatnot that really help cadootz go around. But like, it would be irresponsible for us to launch in more than one retailer the first few months. And we also don't like to bite off more than we can chew. And this is where my investor hat comes into play, where like I've seen brands, it sounds glamorous and fancy to go into like Target, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Costco, like everything within the same year. But we would need 3 more co-men to do that and a lot more funding and also like more manpower, more personnel. We really wanted to do this methodically, and it's not the Amazing Race. I want to do this and I want to do it well because a lot rides on like your first launch in retail. I mean, also we launched an exclusive product line there too. Like we have our own snack packs for our crackers in sea salt and in cheddars. It's driving more customers into Target for them too. So Target was so excited because we were willing to do that with them.
Now, there's no Target left in Canada. They left a few years ago.
That's so sad. I just learned that the other day.
I know, super sad. So maybe one day when you guys grow up and you get to expand into Canada, knock on some doors up here. I have a feeling your brand would do really well. So we'll save that maybe for another conversation. I like, by the way, how you made it sound like you're so laser focused on your brand, but the reality is you're an investor and you're also a cookbook author and you have a new book coming out or that's out. Talk to us about this new cookbook because I love cookbooks, especially ones that are really practical. I can nerd out on the super chef inspired ones, the ones that make your brain hurt, the one that you need like a science degree to understand. Those inspire me too. But I also love being able to like grab a cookbook, open up to the ground beef page and have something that I can make that I know my family's going to love. So where's the book at? How's it going? It's kind of fresh off the press.
Yeah, thank you. So my second cookbook is out called More Please, and it's really like your mealtime survival guide. So I'm not someone who makes elaborate dishes. People look at my Instagram and my website and they're like, oh my God, it looks so good. I could never do that. I'm like, no. I'm not a chef. I didn't go to culinary school. If I can cook, so can you. So my meals are all like easy weeknight dinner recipes. The way the book is set up is a little unconventional. It's like what to make with a pound of ground meat, what to make with a box of pasta, not so boring chicken recipes. And it really is like the everyday kind of cookbook. And it's 100 of my very best recipes because when it's a cookbook, you test the recipe so many times where it's on your website. You can make it a couple of times and then you can always tweak it. But a book it's permanent. It's in writing. So I'm so excited. I'm also like myself trying to like get offline a little bit more. And like by having a cookbook, instead of like looking at your phone and looking at Instagram and the website, like you have something tangible in your hands. And I'm proud of it. I'm excited that everyone's going to be cooking from it now because I've been working on this. I started this idea around the same time as cadootz. They both like have been launching and growing together, which is exciting.
That's very cool. Yeah, there's nothing worse than looking at a recipe on like allrecipes.com and you get those. What is rhubarb? Where does rhubarb come from? And then all the ads, watching a Mazda car ad, that hijacks the recipe. So
exactly. Listen, I'm guilty. I got ads on my website because you have to make a living somehow. But like, there's something really special about a cookbook. And like, this book is one that really does like live on the countertop. It's not like an occasion book. It's an every night cookbook. And it's how I feed myself and my family one meal and not making us multiple meals every night.
Well, talk about a busy space. You walk into any bookstore or browse on Amazon for cookbooks, and there is no shortage of cookbooks. So how are you feeling about the next few weeks, next few months of putting a book out there? Are there events lined up? Like what sort of are you going to do sampling at Target and Cookbook, the double dip sample table?
That would be the dream. I don't know if Target would let me, but like, listen, I always say ask for forgiveness, not permission. So I have a book tour that's like August around this time, like August 2nd to August 9th. That I'm super excited about. So I'll be able to like meet a lot of people in my community and readers, and we'll have food from my book. And other than that, like I'll just keep sharing recipes and sharing about it on the internet. I'd love to do another cookbook of sorts. Someone asked me about it this morning if I'll do it in the fall. I'm like, one thing at a time.
There's nothing worse than publishing a book and everyone's asking you, what's the next book? And you're like, you don't know what it took to get to this point.
That's the thing. And I said to my manager the other day, I was like, I don't know if I could do this again, but I said this last time. And then like you black out. It's like childbirth. The first time I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. I'm not doing it again. And then I did it twice. Like I did 2 more times. So it's fun. And it's a special time when the book comes out. All authors, not just me, like every cookbook author and author in general, you work on it for so long until it's out in the universe.
So it's on Amazon. What about are there bookstores that are ready to carry it?
Anywhere books are sold, which is amazing. Isn't Indigo really big in Canada?
Yeah.
So it's in Indigo, it's in Target, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, it's everywhere. Simon Element is my publisher and they do a phenomenal job with their sales. So they're able to get the book a little bit all over the place, which is great.
That's great. Well, if you decide to come across the border, we can, throw a big book event for you here in Vancouver. Come out to Vancouver. Come out to the ocean. I'm
dying to go to Vancouver. I'll smuggle cadootz with me.
We'll bring them in advance. Don't worry. You don't have to hide them in your luggage. A lot of the people in my community and that listen to Shelf Space are CPG founders and leaders. And, given your role as an investor and now as a CPG owner and as a food influencer, what are some of the things that really stand out to you as, if you could sit down with a founder right now and say, hey, are you thinking about this? What really stands out to you as advice that would be really helpful for them?
I think my husband would laugh at me. I would actually, because I did this the other day to someone who wants to start a cottage cheese dip company. She called me and she was asking me all these questions for advice. And I started talking to her like operations and supply chain, which is not my wheelhouse. That's the other side of my brain that my husband takes care of. I do all the visionary, more glamorous, flashy part of the brand. And I started telling her though about supply chain issues. And because we were on a hunt for cheddar cheese. We've been on a hunt for organic milk protein. It is really hard to source good quality ingredients, and just making sure that your supply chain can fulfill what you want to do and that you have backups and the backup co-man, and making sure that you also are building the correct infrastructure with team members to help support that aspect of the business, because without a good ops team, there's no product. So I think that's something really important to think about that we did not consider until we were in the thick of it. Our oven broke at the co-man a couple weeks ago. We have large Target POs to fulfill, and the oven broke for the third time this year. It's definitely, ops is wild.
And founders so often turn to, especially early on, they're like, oh, what's my logo or what's my package design? And they focus on the pretty stuff when in reality, the elements of the business that are further back from that are really tricky, difficult to manage, and margins can get eaten up pretty fast.
Yeah. And you don't know till you're in it. Like I said, we've been investing for 8 years. I didn't know any of this. We have learned so much. I think sometimes knowing too much paralyzes us to make certain decisions because we've seen so many brands do it a plethora of different ways, but you don't know till you're actually the one dealing with the fire drill.
I love that we're connected. I'm going to be watching very closely everything that happens with the brand and with the cookbook. I'll get my own copy. My last question for you, it's a fun one. It's not business, just fun.
Okay.
Favorite grocery shopping experience anywhere in the world? Where was it?
That's a good one. I think that my first, sounds so basic. I'm going to judge myself when this comes out. My first time ever going to Erewhon was honestly really exciting. I feel like it's probably not even that original, but it was very cool to go into a grocery store and really not have to look at an ingredient label and just know that they've done the work for you in a lot of ways. And to be able to eat the food, prepared food. I was just on cloud 9 and I was so happy. I was I could eat chicken fingers here. And I can eat chicken fingers anywhere, but I can eat chicken fingers I like the ingredients of. And it just felt so, I was happy in there. It's always my first stop when I go to California.
That's awesome. No, that's a good one. That's top of the pile for sure.
Do people say that a lot?
I'd say about 15%.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm so unoriginal. Yeah. My other one is when I went to Lake Como and I went to a grocery store and I found kombucha. That was a highlight of grocery shopping.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Good deal. Rachel, thank you for your time. Excited for your cookbook. Excited to see the brand go live in Target and root for you, and looking forward to staying in touch.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Shelf Space. If you like what you hear, I would be eternally grateful for a 5-star rating and a quick share on social. Your support means the world to me and our partners, TD, Fasken, Rima, Pacific Coast Distribution, Picnic Creative, and Benchmark 60. For bonus content and resources from our sponsors, go to shelfspacepodcast.com. I'm Corwin Hiebert. I'm glad we're on this rocket ship together. I'll see you in the future.